Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to share with you the updated Amazon FBA fees that you're going to encounter if you want to start your Amazon business in 2020. So for the last couple years, I have made a similar video to this one. I did one in 2018, 2019, and here we are now in 2020. And the purpose of this video is to give you clarity so that you can anticipate what to expect when you get into this business. My observation has been that as the years go on, it becomes more expensive to get started with Amazon FBA. And so, the sooner you can get started, the better. My prediction is it's going to be even more expensive next year. And, there are many contributing factors to why that is. I would say one of them is probably what you're thinking, is because, yes, there is more competition on Amazon. There are more people selling on Amazon because of people like myself creating content on YouTube and sharing that with you. And you guys are getting excited and you're starting your Amazon businesses. And so we are creating more competition on Amazon. So that does not mean that Amazon FBA is dead. That does not mean that it's too saturated. That doesn't mean it's not an opportunity. It's au contraire. There's still tremendous opportunity on Amazon FBA. Now, having said that, that does mean that there is a barrier of entry to get started with Amazon FBA. You do have to have a certain amount of money to get started. Just like with different types of businesses, some businesses, it costs less to get started. Others, it costs more to get started. So you're going to find out today how much you could anticipate to get started. But for those of you who are really struggling right now, financially struggling, you're broke, this might not be the best option for you. And if you subscribe to my channel, you can browse around. There are other videos that I've created to share with you different opportunities where you can start making money online, even on Amazon, but just not with FBA. You could do different types of business models that are going to require less money to get started. FBA is a great opportunity, but it does require a chunk of change to get started. Having said that, for those of you who do have money on the side, you're looking to start a business with it, you're looking for an opportunity, this is a great opportunity for you for that same reason, is because there is a barrier of entry. So not everyone can afford to start this business. So having said that, I want to jump into all of this. It's going to be about a 30-minute video. So if you feel like I'm talking too slow, what you can do is you can click on the gear button. There's an HD gear button, the bottom right corner of your screen, and you can set the speed for this video. So if you want me to talk faster or talk slower, it's up to you. I'm going to try and talk slow enough so that I don't overwhelm people. So let's get started here. I'm going to try and explain things as much as possible. So I have two categories here. I have the mandatory category and the optional category. So before I even get started, I want to say this is just my opinion. These are just my observations. Doesn't mean that this is fact, does not mean that this is right or wrong. Okay, first thing that I would put in the mandatory fee when you're first getting started, what you have to do is you first have to find a product to sell on Amazon. Now, I would put here a product research tool. Before product research tools existed, you would just go on Amazon, you would browse products, and you would try and figure out what would be a viable product opportunity to sell on Amazon. But now there exist these product research tools that help make your life easier, help save you time, helps give you more accurate results so that you're not really guessing. So a product research tool you probably heard of is called Jungle Scout. It's one of many different product research tools, but it's probably the most popular. And Jungle Scout is fabulous. They have a team of over 120 people. They're constantly updating things. So when you're using Jungle Scout to do product research, it's going to help you find more niche products that maybe your competitors aren't finding, or you might just find better product opportunities. So traditionally, I might put this in the optional category because you don't need it to start your Amazon business, but I'm actually personally putting it in the mandatory categories because I think it's going to help you to find a better product. There's no such thing as a perfect product, but it might help you find a better product because you're not leaving that decision to yourself and human error. So I would say Jungle Scout is a good option, and Jungle Scout has a monthly plan of about, I think it's $69 a month. So we're just going to put that here as $69. I'm just gonna calculate for 1 month. So I'm just gonna put the 69 here. Also, if you want Jungle Scout, I'll put a link in the description box for you where you can get 30% off. It's an affiliate link. So the next thing that we need to talk about is samples. So once you've used Jungle Scout or any product research tool, you found the product that you want to source, now you need to get samples from your suppliers. So you have to go contact suppliers. Once you've narrowed down the suppliers that you want to work with, probably the ones who communicate with you best, now you need to get samples from these suppliers. You can't just source a product blindly because you need to see it, you need to hold it, you need to make sure it's good quality. Because guys, remember, the only way to win in business is to add more value. You know, you have to always have that mindset. If you're just in it to just make money and you don't care about the quality of your product, you don't care about the customer's experience, that's not going to work for you long term. Because the only way that you're going to have a sustainable business is if you make sure that you're exchanging value. People are giving you value, they're paying you money, you're giving them value by providing your product. And so you need a high quality product. If you have a high quality product, you're going to get positive reviews. If you have a low quality product, you're going to get negative reviews, and it's going to completely destroy your business. So aim for the best quality that you can find. And so my recommendation is to contact a number of different suppliers and get at least one sample from 3 different suppliers so that you can compare the different samples and you can determine which supplier has the highest quality product. Let's just say that the samples are about $50 each, and I know that sounds high, but that's because oftentimes a lot of you are going to be sourcing internationally, so international shipping is a lot. So let's just say they're about $50 each. So 3 times 50, that's $150 for your samples. There are ways that you can make this cost less by finding a place where you can ship all of your samples to, and then they all ship together in one package to your house. So there's ways you can do a Google search for that so you can reduce how much you're paying for your product samples. The next thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna order your inventory. So once you get the samples, you determine, what supplier you wanna work with, and then you'll have to place an order with that supplier. Inventory, the number I'm gonna give you is a bit arbitrary because how much it costs for your inventory is going to be completely dependent on the product that you pick. So there are products that you can manufacture for 20 cents a unit, and there are products that you can manufacture for $14 a unit. So it really depends on what you pick. And this is where you have to get smart with your Amazon business. If you are on a tight budget with your FBA business, you want to look for a more inexpensive product to manufacture, because that simply means, that how much cost is going to be for you to place that inventory order is going to be less. And if you have more money, more wiggle room, you might look for a more expensive product, because usually that means that you can sell it for a higher price and you can profit more. So it really is going to depend on, where you're at for this. So I'm just going to pick a product in between, a product that's not super cheap, but it's not super expensive. Let's say I pick a product that is $5 a unit. $5 a unit, that's pretty standard. Now, how many units do you order? So each manufacturer is going to have a different requirement. It's called the MOQ, minimum order quantity. That's the terminology they use. And they're gonna tell you, listen, we can only place a minimum order of 200 units, or we can only do a minimum order of 1,000 units. So you definitely wanna clarify that before you decide on your manufacturer. You can usually negotiate this, but not by too much. And so their MOQ, you kind of have to follow what they say. Let's just say that the MOQ for this particular product is 400 units. So I'm going to place an order of 400 units. How many units you place is, again, dependent on you. You don't want to place too little of an order. You don't want to place 100 units because you don't want to be out of stock on Amazon. If you're doing so well, you sell out, you have to place a new order, you're out of stock for a couple weeks on Amazon, that's going to hurt your listing. But at the same time, you don't want to place an order that's too large, because then you're going to have so much money tied up in inventory. And if the product doesn't sell well, you're really increasing your risk. So I'm not going to go into details about that. That's for another video. So let's say we do 400 units. So that inventory order is going to cost me $2,000. So right now my inventory is my biggest expense. So once you place your inventory order, now you get to start to work with your manufacturer on the art, your logo, your packaging, any kind of inserts that you want to put in there. I love that stuff. Like, I love that creativity that I get to use. And so you can hire a designer for that, or if you happen to be a graphics designer, great, you can do that for yourself. You don't have to pay someone to do that. And you know what, guys, that applies to anything. A lot of these things, if you can do them yourself, especially kind of graphics design, social media, all of these things required in the business, you're going to save money. So if you really are tight on money, it can be a great option to just get resourceful and try and figure out how to do things yourself. But we're going to say that you're going to outsource this to someone who is more professional. So the art includes your logo. Now, what do I mean by logo? So your logo is going to be your brand name. Now, if you're starting to sell on Amazon, you can go about it in a couple of different ways. You can decide, hey, I'm going to build a brand on Amazon. So let's say my brand is Dog Munchies, and I have a variety of different dog products. I start with one dog product, say it's a dog toy. As I gain more experience, I launch another dog product and another one. And so my brand is a doggy brand. That's my niche. Or you might say, you know what, right now, I don't even know what brand I want to build. I don't even know what direction I want to go in. I just want to have the experience of launching a product on Amazon. I'm going to pick a product that is a great opportunity. I'm going to launch it. And then the next product might have nothing to do with that first product. That's fine too. You're still going to need a brand name. You need to have a brand name to put on your product packaging, to have on your Amazon listing. So it doesn't really matter what it is. You pick what it is, but you're going to need to get a logo made for that product. So the logo ranges, how much you're going to pay for a logo ranges. I pay for my logos $15. I get them done on a website called Fiverr.com. Fiverr.com is a great place where you can go to hire graphics designers and a variety of different freelancers for any kind of work that you need with your online business. I'll put a screenshot of a designer that I've worked with, and I've purchased several logos from this person, and they do a great job. So for only $15, I get a great logo, 3 different concepts to choose from. It's a great option. But you might say, you know what, I don't want to go on Fiverr. I want a more premium logo. And you might buy the logo on 99 Designs. In that case, your logo can cost you $500. So it's really up to you. The price will range. For me, I'm fine with the $15 logo. So I'm going to put $15 here. You also have your product packaging. So this is the packaging that your product is going to be placed inside. When you're first starting with your Amazon FBA business, you don't really have to worry too much about product packaging. So the reason I say this is because you have to remember that this is an online business. You are selling the product on Amazon. It's not the same as retail. If you were to put your product and sell it in Walmart, your product packaging is everything. It is your biggest piece of marketing. You want people to be walking down the aisle and they stop and stare at your product. Or if there's a variety of different products, you want their attention to be laser focused on your product because of your product packaging. So it is essential when it comes to retail. But with e-commerce, it's a different story. What's more important than your product packaging is simply your product images, which we're going to talk about in a second here. Your product images on Amazon. So your product packaging, you don't have to invest so much money into it, especially because oftentimes if you are going to customize your product packaging with your supplier, it's going to cost you more money. So there's an additional fee. And so I'll give you an example. When I started my Amazon business, I just used the free product packaging that my supplier gave me for like 2 years. And nobody cared because it was after the matter that people received the product packaging. They saw it on Amazon, they liked the product on Amazon, they bought it, they didn't see the product packaging until it arrived at their house. And so it didn't really matter in terms of my sales. But at some point, you do want to put a little bit extra effort into your product packaging simply because your goal, like I said earlier, is to add value to your customer. It's to enhance the customer's experience. And if you're building a brand, your product packaging has a way of making people feel a certain way. So it's your opportunity to communicate your brand message through your product packaging. So after 2 years, I decided, you know what, I'm going to invest more into my product packaging. I got things customized, And then how it works now is my customers, they receive the product at home and they instantly feel differently. You know, I know how I want them to feel when they receive my product. I want them to feel feminine. I want them to feel sexy. I want them to feel like they just bought themselves a treat and they deserve it. And so they open the product packaging. It's a whole experience on its own. And so that enhances the customer's experience. And it also is great for marketing because they'll take pictures of it. They'll tag me on Instagram because they like the product packaging. It's cute. So that's something that you can focus on more long term when you're really building your brand, improving your brand. But when you're first placing your inventory order, don't worry too much about product packaging. It's an extra expense that is not really necessary. That money that you're spending on a product packaging could be better placed maybe on marketing your product, getting the word out there when you're first launching your brand. So let's just say that with packaging, you can get your packaging for $15 as well. So this is just like if you're going to have a cardboard carton insert or whatever it is, let's just say $15. Now, one other piece of art that you're going to need is for your Amazon photos. Once you get your product listed on Amazon, you're going to have to create your own Amazon product photos that represent your product. And this is where you don't want to cheap out your Amazon photos for the same reason, because with retail, your product packaging is important. With e-commerce, your product photos are important. So the photos of your product itself. Now your product photos might include your packaging in them. If you have great packaging, that's awesome. If not, your packaging does not need to be shown in your product photos. So where do you get your product photos done? Well, you can get them done on places like productphotography.com. I think that's the website. You can just do a Google search. There are lots of companies where you can send them your product and they arrange the photo shoot for your product and they make it look fabulous. Or you can do them yourself. You know, if you are really tight on money, you can do them yourself. I did it myself for so many years. In fact, even today, the photos on my Amazon listing are just photos I took up myself on my iPhone. The iPhone camera quality is amazing. And then if it's still not up to your standard, what you can do is you can then send them to graphics designer on Fiverr who can Photoshop the photos. He can make them look perfect, 3D render them. So an example of this is I pay someone on Fiverr $15 per photo, and I'll buy 4 photos from them. So we'll just say that your Amazon photos will cost you roughly $60. Now again, this is like bare minimum here, right? This is just me just giving you estimations based on my experience. You can go as high as you want with this. If you want more premium photos, you want the best quality, you want a higher photography service, it can cost you $200, $300, $500 for your product photos. It's really up to you and it depends on your situation. I don't know you. So this is how much it could cost you. So photos are important. Don't skimp out on your product photos. Now you're probably curious about this optional category. I want to get to that last. I want to cover the mandatory fees first. And I am kind of running out of space here. So the next one we have to talk about is barcodes. Barcodes. So this is the barcode on your product. Each product needs a barcode, and it's important because this is the way that Amazon identifies your product. And if you ever were to sell your product in retail, you would also need to have a barcode associated with your product. Traditionally, what people would do is you would buy resale barcodes. You can see like speedybarcodes.com. You can buy one barcode for $5. These are not the original barcodes. These are resale barcodes, and essentially they're not really legitimate barcodes. They work in terms of, helping your supplier identify items. But if you were to sell this product on various marketplaces in retail, those barcodes would not work. And so you would have to buy an original barcode, an authentic barcode, and you would get that from GS1. Now, those barcodes are very expensive. So if you buy an authentic barcode at GS1, for one barcode, 1 to 10 barcodes, it's going to cost you $250. So $250 for 1 to 10 barcodes with a $50 annual fee to, resubmit the barcode. So it's quite expensive. And now I know you're probably thinking, well, if I order 400 units, does each product need its own barcode? Is it $250 a product for a barcode? No, it's not. So if you order 400 units, they're all the same units. There's nothing different about the units. They're just copycats of each other. It's one barcode. It's only when the product is different. So if I have one dog toy and then one dog food, two different products, each of those are going to have a different barcode. If I just have, 400 of the same dog toys, they're all going to have the same barcode. So you only need to buy one barcode. So you can go with the speedy barcodes, the resale barcodes, and really, cheap out on it. You just risk that Amazon will not be happy with you. They might suspend your account. It is a possibility. I've never seen it happen personally, but it is a possibility. So you do it at your own risk. So I'm going to put here $250 to be on the safe side so you can account for that. Now we are going to ship our products from our country of origin, wherever it's being manufactured, to our Amazon warehouse, the marketplace in which we wish to sell. If you're, manufacturing in the same country that you're going to sell in, your shipping is going to be really cheap. But if you're manufacturing overseas, you're going to be paying more money for shipping, obviously. So I would say the majority of us, we're probably going to manufacture in China, not all of us. And so I'm going to give you an estimation based on China. So if you are manufacturing in China, you have two options. You can ship by air or you can ship by sea. Now, if this is your very first ever order, I would recommend shipping by air. Shipping by sea is much cheaper. It comes at a fraction of the cost. However, it is a bit more complicating and it just takes a longer time. So if you ship by air, it can be shipped, door to door in less than a week. If you're shipping by sea, it's going to take over a month to receive the product at the Amazon warehouse. So you got to organize a shipment from your manufacturer to the port. From the port, it's got to ship to your country's port. From the country's port, it's got to be in a car and trucked to the Amazon warehouse. So all in all, it can take you over a month. And with my experience, when it comes to sea shipping, it always takes longer than you expect. So I account for 2 months with my sea shipping. But for you, if this is your first time, just go with air shipping because it's going to be a lot easier. You're going to have more peace of mind and it's going to save you time because the sooner you can get your product launched on Amazon, the better. So shipping, if you're going to ship by air, again, the shipping fee is totally going to depend on the product that you pick. So if you pick a product that's really lightweight, if it's like very lightweight, like my first product that I ever launched on Amazon was a cognac sponge, and it was the lightest thing ever. You wouldn't even feel that you're holding it in your hand. And so all in all, my inventory plus my shipment, or no, I think it was actually just my inventory. My shipment was very cheap. It was like $100 to ship from China to the US. However, if you have a product that's 1 pound, 2 pounds, it's gonna cost you more money. So I don't know how heavy your product is. I don't know what the dimensions are. If it has wonky dimensions or if it's large, it's also gonna cost you more. But let's just estimate that the shipping fee is $400. Let's just go with 400. By air. Now, if you are shipping, you are going to have to pay a bond. So a bond can be paid annually. You can pay for the whole year if you expect to do multiple shipments in a year, which is about $500, or you can pay per shipment, which is about $100. So, obviously it makes sense if you're going to do more than 5 shipments a year to buy the annual bond. If you don't know yet, just pay the one-time bond of about $100. We're going to talk about freight forwarders in a second. An additional fee that you need to account for is how much duties you're going to pay on your shipment. So if, again, you're importing from another country, you're going to get taxed, most likely, and that's going to be in the form of import duties. And so, for example, last year with the tariff war, there's additional duties imposed on certain products, okay? So if you're importing. So for myself, I did get hit with an additional, I think it was like 10 or 12% of duties. So you have to account for that. I can't tell you how much duties you're gonna pay, but once you figure out what product that you want to manufacture, you can actually ask your supplier, hey, what is the HS code or HTS code of this product? Oftentimes they know what it is already and they can tell you, and then you can Google search it and you can find out how much to estimate for those import duties, how much it's gonna cost you. or you can contact a freight forwarder. So a freight forwarder is an additional expense. I'm going to put that in the optional category because freight forwarders, basically what they do is they facilitate your entire shipment. So I love freight forwarders because honestly, guys, when you're first getting started with Amazon FBA, everything is new. You know, like we're learning this for the very first time. It can be very overwhelming. We're learning about picking a product, contacting manufacturers, you know, shipping, launching a product, art, like all of the requirements. There's a lot to learn. And so shipping is the last thing that I want to be thinking about or spending my time on. And I prefer a professional to handle it for me. So you can hire a freight forwarder who basically takes care of the entire shipping process from point A to point B. And so they will do it whether you're shipping by air or shipping by sea. And so I highly recommend that to you. I use a freight forwarder for my business and really they're inexpensive. So freight forwarders, their fee might be anywhere from $75 to $200 and they're gonna be taking care of the paperwork, the duties, the bond, everything you need to do. So freight forwarder is a great option. I'm going to put that under the optional category. Okay, so we're almost done with the mandatory category. So you might be wondering, well, what about my Amazon selling plan? What about my Amazon account? Do I have to pay for my Amazon account? And the answer is no, not in the beginning. So when you first sign up for your Amazon Seller Central account, that's what it's called, you can sign up as an individual. So you have an option to sign up as an individual or as a professional if you have a business. I would recommend to all of you who are just getting started to sign up first for the individual account. And that means that it's free. You don't have to pay to use the account. You can play with it, you can start to discover it, and you get a better understanding of how Amazon works and you can use it and it's great. So start with the free account. At some point, you will have to upgrade to the professional account. And I would recommend doing that once you've placed your order and you're shipping the goods to the Amazon warehouse. So if you're using Amazon FBA, you're gonna need a professional selling account. And so the professional selling account comes at a price of $39.99 per month. So it's a fixed price, you pay it every month. And if you upgrade to the professional account, but that month you didn't sell anything, then you will get reimbursed the fee. You don't have to pay the fee. But once you start selling, it's going to be a fixed price every month that you're going to have to account for. Now, that $39.99, basically what happens is you start to not really notice it because if you make sales that month, they will take the $39.99 out of your profit and they will then deposit the remaining profit into your bank account. So you don't really pay it as a separate charge on your credit card. It just is deducted from your Amazon Central account. So right now I'm not going to put that on here because as you're just getting started for the first few months, you know, it's probably going to take you a couple months to get everything set up and to have your Amazon order prepared. So you're not going to pay for it right now, but account for that in the future. Okay, so the last thing that I want to add into the mandatory category is Amazon pay-per-click advertising. So advertising on Amazon, this is really important, and also this isn't something that you're going to encounter right away. This is only going to be applicable to you once your product is at the Amazon warehouse and you are now starting to sell on Amazon. And for most of you, as soon as your product hits the Amazon warehouse and you're ready to go live with your listing, you're going to want to turn on your Amazon pay-per-click advertising, and you're going to want to create a few advertising campaigns. It's really going to benefit you because when you're first getting started, nobody's going to know who you are, what your brand is. Your listing is going to be on page like 20 of the Amazon search. And so nobody's really going to find your listing unless you do any kind of external marketing. So one of the best ways to get your product in front of potential customers' eyes is to pay for advertising on Amazon. And so what that does is if you advertise for the keyword dog toys and you have a great bid, then you can be, you know, when someone searches dog toys, your listing comes up on the first page, even though you're not ranked for the first page. So it's extremely beneficial and it's extremely important when you're first, you know, getting started with Amazon. Most people keep their PPC on. It's a constant process to optimize PPC. It can cost you a fortune if you don't know what you're doing. It can cost you a fortune if you don't know how to do keyword research, or it can be extremely profitable for you if you take the time to learn how to do keyword research, how to optimize your Amazon PPC, or even potentially hiring someone to do it for you, someone who knows what they're doing so that you don't have to spend the time to learn it yourself. PPC is going to cost you anywhere from $200 plus. Who knows, like you spend as much as you want on Amazon PPC. Again, that depends on your personal situation. I'm going to put 200 bucks here because it takes a minimal amount of money to really get started. You have to test different keywords, different campaigns to really start to see some momentum with it. So that is basically it. These are the mandatory things. I'm not sure if I'm really missing something here. So all in all, the grand total for, the mandatory fees, which I think are mandatory for 2020, is about $3,279, okay? So that's quite a bit more than what it was last year. And that's part of that is because I'm being less conservative with these numbers. I'm actually, accounting for, you picking a product that's $5 a unit, which is more on the high end. But having said that, this is a very comfortable amount to start with, but you can get started with less. Just yesterday, I was on the computer chatting with someone who started their Amazon business basically in 2019, launched the product at the beginning of 2019, and now starting in October of 2019, they did their first $10,000 on Amazon. So from January to October, slowly started getting momentum, and in October hit the 10,000 milestone. And they started with $1,000. So you can start with less. Please don't get me wrong. You can start with less. I'm just sharing with you what is a comfortable amount for you to get started based on all of this, okay? So if you want to get creative, if you really want to, there's ways that you can get started with less. You don't need to do all of this stuff. Okay, I want to make that clear for you. I don't want to discourage you. I just want to be realistic with you. Okay, let's move on to the optional side. Okay, so we already have the freight forwarder in here, $75 to $200. The next thing I want to put in optional is an Amazon FBA course. And I know some of you are very cynical about people who talk about Amazon FBA courses, and honestly, you have all the right to be. I understand that. A lot of people on YouTube are just trying to sell you a course. They don't really have their own success on Amazon. They see more money in selling you a course, and I don't think that's right, but that's not what I'm trying to do here. I don't have a course to sell you. I'm trying to share with you from my experience that the best way to get started with this is by taking a course. Just like with anything, if you want to learn anything in life, why try and figure it all out yourself? That is the slowest way to success, is trying to figure out everything yourself and do it on your own. Spending hours and hours on YouTube, doing Google searches, and even with all that time you're spending doing that stuff, you're still not going to have all the answers. And so the best approach and the fastest way to success is to learn from others who have the results that you want, who have succeeded before you, and learn from them. They will share with you their challenges, they will share with you what worked, what didn't work, and that way you can accelerate your progress. And so that's really what a course is. A lot of people, they want to, a lot of my subscribers, you guys ask me, hey, can I hire you for one-on-one coaching? I want to get started with my Amazon FBA business. And I just say, you know what, I don't do coaching, and honestly, I can't, with my own conscience, I can't do that to you, because to hire me per hour is going to cost you money, especially if you're just a beginner, just learning how to do Amazon FBA. Guys, it's a step-by-step process. Don't hire a mentor to teach you how to do Amazon FBA. Get a course, you're gonna pay a flat price for it, and you have now the flexibility. When you buy a course, you can take it whenever you want, wherever you want. You get lifetime access to it, you get templates, you get to, review the videos as much as you want, you get to be part of a community. It's going to be way more affordable and way more effective for you than hiring a mentor. Okay, so that's why I don't offer coaching for beginners. It just doesn't make sense, because you're going to spend way more money on me. I'd rather you put that money in your own Amazon business. It just makes more sense. The price of a course is going to range. You do get what you pay for. I've been through many Amazon courses, and really, the courses under $1,000, I don't even want to recommend to you guys, because they're just not updated. And Amazon, is growing so fast. They're constantly updating themselves. So you need a course that is constantly being updated. And if they're charging under $1,000, oftentimes that course is not being updated, because it would cost them so much more money to update that course. So usually $1,000 to $5,000. That's how much a good course can cost. And I strongly recommend it. It just makes the most sense. So whatever course you do choose, please just make sure that you do your due diligence, okay? It's your responsibility to really do your research, look into the course, read reviews, hear what other people have to say about it, because I don't want to see you getting a course and spending $1,000 to $5,000 on it, and then you feel like you were ripped off, you feel like you got burned or wasted money. A course is an investment, and if you get the right course, this money is going to be nothing. This is priceless. For me, if I didn't buy the course that I bought 5 years ago, I wouldn't have any of the business that I have today. So in hindsight, I paid $5,000. Well, the course was $5,000, but I split it. So I didn't pay the full $5,000. But let's just say I did pay $5,000. In hindsight, that is nothing. I would pay $20,000, $30,000. I would pay a lot more money now for that course because of the results I achieved because of this course. So you're really paying for the results. And again, you get what you pay for. So do your due diligence with this. I do have a couple courses that I recommend. I only recommend 2 courses after doing my own due diligence. One of the courses I recommend is the course that I took. It's still the #1 course out there. It is one of the most expensive courses, but if you have the money to invest in it, it's a great option. I do coaching for people who do that course. You get tremendous results, again, if you put in the work. And guys, don't be asking what the success rate of courses is. I always hear this from people. What is the success rate? It doesn't matter. The success rate does not matter because it comes down to you. The course is great. If you do your due diligence, you find a great course, it's going to take you step by step. But at the end of the day, your success is dependent on you. It's not dependent on everyone else. Stop looking for people or things to blame for you not seeing the success you want in your life. Okay, so I will link the courses that I recommend for you in the description box below, just like I'm going to link some of the other resources for you as well. Okay, the next one I have in the optional category is giving products away. So what I mean by this is I don't mean the giveaway strategy that we used back in 2014 where we would give Amazon customers free products in exchange for a review. That does not work anymore. Nobody does that anymore. Amazon changed their policies and those reviews will not stay on Amazon. What I mean by this is actually influencer marketing. So one of the best ways and most efficient and effective ways for you to brand yourself is through the leveraging other influencers, people who have a following, people who have other people who follow them. They like, know, and trust this person. And so what you can do is you can hire this influencer, or you can send them a free product. And what you agree on is, hey, I'd love to send you a free product. I think your audience would really love this. You want to find an influencer who is within your niche. And just say, honestly, just share with me your opinion. I'd love for you to just share it on your Instagram or on your YouTube, give me your feedback, and you can make some arrangements with them. And so what they can do is they can help build your brand. They can help build the brand awareness. They get the word out about your brand. I have a number of different strategies about influencer marketing. That's one of the ways that I really built my business. I paid a very small amount of money in advertising because I leveraged social media. And if you do the things that other people don't want to do, you're going to get the results that other people don't have. And so a lot of people don't want to do social media. A lot of people don't want to do YouTube. And I was willing to do that. I didn't want to do it initially, but I was willing to do it. And because I did it, I saved a tremendous amount of money on advertising, which is why I have really, really great profit margins for an e-commerce business. A lot of e-commerce businesses have about 30% profit margins, 20% profit margins. Our profit margins are, I think, 61% or 59% net. So that's simply because we don't pay for advertising. We leverage other influencers who already have a following. We offer them our products and ask for their honest opinion, and then they choose to share it with people. So there's different strategies around this. I'm going to put $200 there just to account for that. So the next one I want to add here is a trademark. Now, I don't want you to overthink this because a trademark really, it's not that big of a deal when you're first getting started. The only reason that you would trademark something is because you're building a brand, people are starting to know your brand, you're building more brand awareness, and you're worried that someone else is going to use your name. Someone else is going to trademark your name or use it in business. So at that point, it's worth trademarking. But what I'm trying to say is when you're first getting started, you make up a brand name and nobody knows this brand name. You know, you first launch on Amazon, people are just discovering you for the first time. The chances of someone else wanting to use your trademark or use your brand name is very low. So it's an expense that you don't really need to pay for if you're tight on money. However, if you do have more money, a trademark in the US costs $300 if you want to file it yourself if you live in the US. Last year, the US, they changed their policies. They used to allow foreigners to file their own trademarks, but now they say that if you're a foreigner, you have to hire an attorney to file the trademark for you. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt. You know, I'm a foreigner, I'm not an American, and so I used to pay $300 for filing my own trademarks. It's easy to do, but now I have to hire an attorney to file the trademark for me. So I feel like it's kind of annoying, but there's probably reasons for that. So now I have to pay probably around $1,000 to hire an attorney to file the trademark for me. So I'm gonna put here $300 if you are in the US, but I'm gonna put $1,000 as well if you are not in the US and you want to file a US trademark. Okay, the last one that I want to add to the optional category are Facebook ads. So we already talked about Amazon PPC, which is in the mandatory category, and the reason why the Amazon ads are in the mandatory category and the Facebook ads are in the optional category is because if you are trying to target someone on Amazon, your product is on Amazon and you use an Amazon ad, you are now targeting people who are already shopping on Amazon. So the percentage of them who are actually going to buy your product is going to be higher than if you were targeting someone on Facebook, because you're pulling someone from Facebook to Amazon. You're pulling someone who is just scrolling on their Facebook, just bored out of their mind with no intention of shopping, and only if they really see something irresistible are they going to go and buy it on Amazon. If someone's already on Amazon, they're in the mindset of shopping, I want to buy something, or they're looking for something to buy, and they see your ad, the chances of them buying your product is a lot higher. So your money goes further with your Amazon PPC. However, Facebook ads is super powerful, especially when you're first getting started, because it's a way that you can start building out your email list. It's a way that you can start building out your Facebook Messenger list. And these words, you might not understand what this is right now. Subscribe to my channel because I have videos where I talk about building out a funnel, building out a sales page, how to capture leads, all of that stuff. That's more advanced, but I'm going to put here $200 to account for Facebook ads. So again, like $200 is really not much for advertising. Advertising can eat your money, but as a basis, just to get started, these are the fees that I'm putting here. So that is everything. I know this was a lot and I don't want to overwhelm you and I don't want to discourage you. It's still, Amazon FBA is a huge opportunity and I'm passionate about sharing this with you, not because I'm trying to sell you on something, but because this has genuinely changed my life. It has genuinely created an extraordinary lifestyle for myself beyond my dreams, and I feel like it is my duty to share that with you guys, to not be selfish and hold on to everything I know but myself. And hopefully you can see my authenticity through the content that I create for you. I don't need to create a YouTube channel and share all of this stuff, and a lot of people question me like, what's in it for her? Why is she creating this stuff? Why is she sharing this with everyone? Honestly, I just enjoy it. I love business. I love e-commerce, and I just want to share it with you guys. And we are beings who love to connect and share with each other, and this is my way of doing it. So I hope that this adds value to you. Again, you don't need to start with this amount of money. You can start with less, you can start with more. Of course, the more money that you can invest into your Amazon FBA business, the better, the easier it's going to be for you. You're going to have to do less, you can outsource more, you're going to have maybe more opportunities when it comes to picking a product, because if you can pick a product that is more expensive, probably fewer people are going to have that as an option, so you have less competition, a number of factors. So there's so much that I want to share with you, but I know I've already already been talking so much and I don't want to overwhelm you guys. So I'm going to wrap up this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I do have a free training if you want to dive a little bit deeper. You know, if you're just getting started, you're just learning about Amazon FBA, like what the heck is this thing? What is this opportunity? You can go to tatianajames.com/free training, and I've put together a series of videos to just introduce Amazon FBA to you, give you a little bit of a step-by-step guide to give you an overview of what this process looks like so you can further anticipate what's to come. So I wish you the best. I'm really, really excited for whatever is to come for you in 2020, whether that is, you know, starting your Amazon FBA business, or maybe it's some other online business. I feel like there's just an abundance of opportunities in this world, especially online, just so much power and opportunity there. It's really exciting. So enjoy. If you have questions, comment down below for me. I will answer them, especially when the video is first released. I'm really fast at answering questions, but if not, subscribe for more. Take care. Bye, guys.